Eating and cooking with local foods is a big part of each episode of Iowa Ingredient. And of course, tasting the dishes is one of my favorite assigned duties on the show.
That is so delicious.
But as a special holiday treat, we're visiting Reiman Gardens in Ames to get some tips on decorating with Iowa ingredients. Not necessarily food, although kale can look pretty festive in a holiday planter, but decking the halls with branches, greenery, pine cones, and crab apples, bringing the crisp Iowa outdoors inside.
When it comes to the holiday season, a lot of people like to have fresh garlands and wreaths. What they may not realize is that you can get a lot of the materials, if not all of them, right outside in your own garden.
Sure, at Reiman Gardens, Aaron has 14 acres from which to choose fresh elements for decorating. But if you look out your window, you will likely see lots of holiday-worthy materials too. And the selection process can be a fun exercise in creativity.
This is one of the many pine trees you could potentially use in your wreath, including the cones that are on it too.
A lot of things that are out in our gardens that look good this time of year can be brought indoors. Specifically most of our evergreens, so our firs, our spruces, our pines and junipers, all of those kind of evergreen shrubs that we like this time of year because they are green. Other things that you can bring in are things in the garden that you may not think of, but look great in things like garlands and wreaths, like crabapple fruit, or the fruits off of other trees and shrubs like viburnums and dogwoods. You can also use some of the classic things too. Boxwood and holly are used all over the country, and both of those plants you can sometimes find in your own Iowa garden.
Aaron does caution against pruning plants, trees, and bushes too much this time of year, but he says the amount of material needed for a wreath is relatively small and that most healthy, well-established plants can handle it. And if you don't have any evergreens readily available, here's another option.
One of the best ways to find a lot of greenery is to use what you trim off of your tree. So if you go out and buy a live tree, it's not uncommon to have to remove the bottom branch or two to make it fit in your home or to get it home. And so saving those branches and using those pieces to make your wreath or garland is a really inexpensive and easy way to get the materials you need.
Creating a wreath from Iowa-grown ingredients will probably take you an hour and a half or so. But with the right tools, including a wire wreath frame, a good set of pruners, and some wire, it can be a rewarding holiday endeavor.
When you're putting together a wreath, what you're basically going to do is make small bundles of plants, usually 3 or 4 stems of different greens, and then lay those on top of a wire wreath frame and use paddle wire, which is just kind of a thin green wire wrapped around a paddle, to wrap that wire around the frame and the bundle, attaching it to that frame. Making sure that you pull nice and tight so that as that wreath dries, you won't lose little pieces. I'm going to continue doing this all the way around the frame, using the Fraser fir, which will be in all of my bundles, and then putting smaller pieces of other things, trying to evenly distribute them as I go around to create kind of a nice look. Continue overlapping the base of all of these bundles with the next bundle to kind of cover up the cut ends and cover up the wire that you're using to attach it. Occasionally you will break the wire, and it's no problem. Just take the broken end, wrap it around the wreath frame, and start again. You can go through and add little pieces like pine cones or other pieces.
With a bright bow as a finishing touch, this Iowa ingredient wreath is ready to decorate the mantelpiece or welcome visitors at the front door.
It is a great family activity. The smells that come out of when you put these wreaths together, it smells like Christmas. You play some holiday music, and when you're all done, you have this beautiful wreath for everybody to see.
This holiday season, look for wintry Iowa ingredients you can bring indoors to celebrate. You might be surprised by what you find.